We'll work our way around either way it goes. I want y'all to see something. We're going to go to Genesis. Now, I know a couple of y'all seen that post. And I'm going to see if y'all caught the gist of it, what was in the post. But I want y'all to look at Genesis, the 8th chapter. And I want you to look at about the 20th verse. Genesis 8 and 20. Genesis 8 and 20. Let's do it. And it said, Noah builded an altar unto Yah, and took of every clean beast, and every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Yah smelled a sweet savor. And Yah said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more every living thing as I have done. So listen what this man said. This man said he smelled a sweet savor. Anybody know what this would be referring to by smelling the sweet savor?
Yeah, I do.
You can't work. But don't you know, what you say, little mama? Exactly, same thing you just said, because he took it in clean. Because everybody knows when somebody cooking something, they give off a good aroma, don't it? It smells good to you. But hold on, I want y'all to see something. Go look at Psalm 50 though. I want y'all to look at Psalm 50. The Lord taking us in a certain direction. We're going to get back to where we got to roll at. But I want y'all to see something. I want you to go to Psalm 50. I want to say about verse 17. This is one of our sister's favorite verses. This is one of their favorite verses of what I'm going to read. Every time she hears, she goes smiling. Yeah, Psalm 50. Hold on, that signal going out. Bear with it. He'll come back in a second. Let me see. I got to get that. See what verse I want. I'll just bear with it. I'm almost there. Here I go. I want you to go to Psalm 50 and about verse 7. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me? There you go. Y'all can hear me now? Yep, there. Did just what I told it was going to do. Dirty dog boy. It ain't going to matter. Yeah, hello? I'm in about the same area. Yeah, call this rock.
I'll talk to him, so whatever. You trying to wrestle me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, about verse 7. Because this phone, man, this phone be tripping. I just feel right there because that's where it caught on at.
What you just said?
Yeah, but then I was still there and get it, man. That thing do what it wanted to do. Because it caught on in the kitchen too. Hello? Yeah, hold on. Call this drop. That's all. Something you ain't. Yeah. Yes, it was. And I enjoyed it. Where my juice at? Where my juice at, nigga? You alright? Yeah, you gonna let the dog lick your cup, man?
Didn't lick it.
I didn't say he did. I said you were gonna let him.
Oh gosh.
He was close.
Sorry.
You gonna let y'all fall?
Only person sorry in here is you.
No.
I'm not tasting.
Tap to my testes.
You didn't lick it.
Testes.
Right. Because you said it, and I was in the midst of asking you, then you were like, you let know where you go?
Yeah.
Man, let you know. No, nigga. Stop asking.
Y'all alright, man. The call just dropped. Psalm 50 and 7, y'all. I want y'all to hear what the man say. Psalm 50 and 7. Listen to what the book say, dog. This man say, Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel. I will testify against thee, I am God, even thy God. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings to have been continually before me. I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he goes out of thy folds. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee, for the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. Will I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats? He say, Offer unto God thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. And if we go back and look at verse 3, or verse 5, he said he gathered his saints together that made his covenant with him by sacrifice. But see, all this tied into the Lord, because didn't the Lord make a sacrifice with him? See, look at Ephesians 5:1. Because he said he offered clean beasts. We know the Lord. Remember how we dealt with he was the red heifer? Ain't that was a clean beast that had to be sacrificed with no blemish? Y'all remember that? Mm-hmm. Look at Ephesians 5:1. Huh, Brittany, you remember that? See, y'all remember that? You see how that tie in? How he said he offered that burnt offering and it was a sweet savor? Well, see, you got to come back and you got to emulate the same thing. Ephesians 5:1. Listen to what he tells you. He said, be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love as the Messiah also have loved us, and have given himself for an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savor. So we already seeing that we tied into that offering and sacrifice with Noah. That's talking about the Lord. He had sat there, because remember what Noah's name means, to comfort those that mourn because of the curse. So you have to turn back and you got to look. Remember what Paul told you in Romans 12. Offer yourself as a living sacrifice, set apart and acceptable unto God, that people might know what the perfect will of God is. So you have to look at yourself as the same clean beasts and all that Noah offered on that altar, following the same image and correlation to your Savior. Offer yourself a sacrifice and be clean, so this man can get a sweet smell and savor, a sweet aroma. Anybody ever walked in the house and somebody was cooking something good and you just took a whiff and it just made your heart sing when you smelled it? Now, y'all know that type of feeling that had when you smell a good aroma in your nose or some good cooked food. Well, that's how you want the Lord to take in that aroma with your sacrifices and your way of living. That when you smell it, it smells good to him. I'm well pleased. See, look here. Look what he told you to do if you want to be a sweet smelling savor. He said, but fornication and all uncleanness of covenants, let it not be once named amongst you as become saints. Don't let none of this stuff be named among you and you calling yourself a set apart one. Because was any of this stuff named among the Messiah? None of that stuff was named among the Messiah. We're going to show you the Messiah is a priest. So this is what is tied into it. All those who are priests, none of this stuff going to be named among them. Not just with the saints, not just with those who've been taught it, but those who teach it. Can't none of this stuff be named among them. Look what else can't be named among them. He said, neither filthiness nor foolish talking nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater have any inheritance in the kingdom of the Messiah and of God. We just had a grown man who said, oh, you can't find whoremonger in the Old Testament. That's a New Testament term. You want to play them game. No fool, well, you can't be no whore. Man sat there and called Israel a whore and said she was cut off for the same thing. Going to try to play the game with the definition of harlot. A whore is a whore. You can't be no whore. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Can't be no whore. Can't be no spiritual whore laying down with no different gods, and you definitely can't be no physical whore laying in the bed with different people. But see, when you try to justify yourself and make yourself feel good with the sins and the ungodliness you commit, anything will sound good to you. Go back to Genesis 8. I'll tell you, I'm about sick of these Hebrew niggas. I promise to you. See, it's one thing. Now, I know a lot of y'all be noticing that. Right. When you get on there and you talk to people on Facebook, you know the people want to type and talk to each other, typing on Facebook all day long, though. Y'all ever notice that? You ever seen people have statuses and they had 200-300 comments? Any of y'all ever seen that before? See, but you notice when you tell them, well, let's call each other, let's talk to each other like adults, let's talk to each other about men. Don't nobody want to pick up a phone and call nobody, but you want to type on a phone screen or a computer screen all night long. That don't make no sense to me. I don't know, maybe I'm different. I'm a man. Yeah. We can talk to each other like men. Let's go back to verse 21, read in verse 21. But you see how he said he smelled a sweet savor. You see how he said he won't curse the ground anymore for man's sake. Now why do you think he won't curse the ground anymore for man's sake? Anybody know why he wouldn't curse the ground anymore for man's sake? No. Let's go back and let's see what made the ground curse for those that don't know, because everybody quiet. Let's go to Genesis 3. I mean, Dwight, you on the right track. You was on the right track. You wasn't on the wrong track. I was trying to let everybody on the line get in on it. Mm-hmm. Genesis 3, and let's look at verse 17. Genesis 3 and 17. Look what he say, y'all. And he say unto Adam, he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow thou shalt eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. And the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. So when he cursed the dust, cursed the ground, what he sitting there talking about? No, you gonna die. Yes, exactly. You gonna die. When he say, I curse the ground for your sake, you gonna die. Then you just say he cursed the ground because dust you came from and dust you going back to? Look at Ecclesiastes 12. See, that's the difference. See, true men of God, they gonna warn you to flee from death. What brought death upon Adam, y'all? Sin. Sin is what brought death upon Adam. So don't you think a true man of God will come to warn you to flee from that curse? Didn't the Lord come to not only free you from that curse, but warn you to flee from it? Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. Matter of fact, make it verse 5. Matter of fact, make it verse 1. Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Y'all bear with me. It concluded to the matter. Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Book right after Proverbs. And it says, Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, when the evil days come not, nor the years draw not, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after rain. And see, all y'all need to remember that there. See, a lot of people, they don't remember the Creator in the days of thy youth. So when the time get ready, when you get ready to leave here, you're going to sit here and you're going to start to consider things. You need to consider these things before it's time for you to leave here. Verse 3. And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the ground to cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low. He shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Now y'all think you know what it's tying into? Because this stuff hit my mind right now. This man say, when the days of the keepers of the house shall tremble. What you think the people was going to do? What he said about the when we just read this. He said, what did those men say when that man came? He said, let the mountains fall on us. Because he that cometh on the throne come with great wrath. You know what I'm talking about? When this man return here, these people going to tremble. He said all the strong men going to bow themselves because the mighty men going to be destroyed when this man get back here. But look at verse 5. He said, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, desire shall fail. Because man go to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. Or the silver cord be loose, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken out the fountain, or the reel broken out of cistern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God that gave it. So now we're looking at something right now. This man just sat here and told you the dust won't return because Adam came from dust. Then. That's the curse. You got to go back to dust. Have you met anybody who has not died that walked in his flesh? Y'all ever heard of any man who was born and never tasted death? Don't worry, I'll wait. You ever heard of anybody like that? See, this way it come in with stupid niggas think the Lord done came back because he told people there's men standing here that shall not taste death. Stupid niggas thinking, well, the Lord had to come back then. Dumb niggas don't even realize he ain't talking about a physical death. Everybody got to die. Ain't that what the law just said? Dust you come from and dust you got to return. Ain't that what he said in Genesis? That's the law, ain't it? So that means everybody got to die. But he said he ain't going to curse the ground no more for man's sake. Ain't that what he said in another part of the law? So don't be looking at these two things together. That look like they contradict each other, don't it? But when you look at the verse before that, he said he smelled a sweet smelling savor. We just read how the Lord was a sweet smelling savor. You know what I'm talking about? And he said, because of this sweet smelling savor, I'm not going to curse the ground no more. And that's what he said. Look at Galatians 3 and 13 and you'll see why. Get to where I need to be. Galatians 3 and 13. Listen to what the man said. The Messiah hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is everyone that hang on the tree. So when that man was hanging on the tree, what happened to him? He died. And what was the curse of the law? Death. So therefore the ground is no longer cursed, is it? Thank the Lord. Now you see how that Genesis 8:21, that's how the Lord did. That man said, I'm not going to curse the ground no more. Man told, did he say the lamb was slain from the foundation of the world? See, the whole book about the Messiah. Now, you'll have some stupid, ignorant niggas say we were just using symbolism right now. But was that symbolism or was that just the book talking? Does that line up with the book? Am I just talking, did I just make that up? Or did the book just show you plain that why the man said he wasn't going to curse the ground no more? Because when he hang on the tree, wasn't he a sacrifice? Matter of fact, look at Luke 5, I think it is. Matter of fact, it ain't Luke 5. Make it Matthew 20. Look what he tell you right here. We got to make sure. He say he's smelling out a sweet smelling savor. You know you're a burnt offering. We just dealt with how he was a red heifer, and the red heifer couldn't have no blemish on it. That's an offering for sin, right? For Day of Atonement, ain't it? Because what Noah making atonement after they got off that ark? They got to make sure now. I want to make sure it's the book talking and not me talking, because I don't want nobody to tell y'all that I'm around here telling you what I want to say. Matthew 20 and 28. I want y'all to make sure this is what the book says. Let's see what the Lord says. Let's see if the Lord say he will sacrifice. He said, even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, to give his life a ransom for many. So that means when he say a ransom, ain't that something that's redeeming or taking the place of something? Because when somebody kidnaps somebody, they want a ransom, right? And then that ransom money replaces what was taken. Well, when Adam disobeyed, wasn't life taken from him? So this man came to substitute himself in the midst to bring that back. That makes sense. So now we can see why the ground ain't cursed. Because this man came to 20 and 28. Because if he came and made himself a curse according to the law by taking on death, and he taking away death, then guess what that means? The ground ain't cursed no more, is it? That means man's not cursed anymore. That means man has a shot to live. Look at Romans 5. We gotta make sure y'all understand this, man. Well, yeah, we down to one bar. We good. We back on that. We back on. We 3 bars. We good. Romans 5 and about verse 14. Romans 5 and about verse 14. Listen to what it says, y'all. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come. So we know, didn't nobody sin after what? Because how many of us got a direct commandment from y'all not to do something? You ever got a direct commandment from y'all? Seen it face to face? Made by him? Ain't nobody went and did that. What else he say? But not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of God and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Yeshua the Messiah, have abounded unto many. And not as it was by one that sinned, so is the gift. He say, for the judgment was by one to condemnation, but the free gift is of many offenses unto justification. For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yeshua the Messiah. So you see how everybody had to touch that curse and had to die because of the sin of Adam. Everybody had to die then. So now the ground's no longer cursed because of the death and the free gift of grace by Yeshua. Now everybody got access to life, right? Now you see how the ground is no longer cursed because of that sweet offering that Noah offered. Knowing that Noah's name means to comfort the ground which Yah has cursed. Remember that? Does this make sense for y'all? Let me know if it don't make no sense. It makes sense for y'all, but we go to other places now and make sure it makes sense for you now. Well, I mean, what you don't understand? Well, look at it now. Look what he told you. The man said Noah offered clean beasts as an offering, a burnt offering, and said it would receive the sweet smelling savor. We just read in Ephesians 1 how he said the Messiah offered himself to the Father as a sweet smelling savor and a sacrifice, and that we should walk in the love of God like he did and offer ourselves in the same manner. Because he never wanted animals and bulls and goats. He never wanted that. He wanted obedience. See, that was the sweet smelling savor from Yeshua right there because he obeyed it. That was pleasing. What he said when he spoke it out of heaven to him. He said, this is my beloved son in whom I'm what? Well pleased. Because when you smell a sweet smelling aroma, aren't you well pleased? So when we look at it, when we look in the law, we just seen he said he cursed the ground. And he said from dust you came, dust you going to return. So the cursing of the ground is death. Because we are dust. What they always say at every funeral. Dust to dust and what? Ashes to ashes. You got to go back to the dust. Because that's the curse. Adam sinned. He told you, if you sin, you shall what? Surely die. He said, if you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. You shall surely die. When they ate of that tree, did they surely die? And that death passed to everybody. Everybody died, don't it? Whether you sinned after what Adam did or not, everybody got to die. This man said he done cursed the ground. Now you sit here and we look into Genesis 8. The man said, I'm not going to curse the ground no more. Because he's sitting here telling you, I'm going to send the Lord. I'm going to send my son. I'm going to send Yeshua the Messiah. I'm going to send the Lamb. And he's going to atone for that sin. And he going to be that sweet smelling savor to take away that curse of the ground. Because when that curse is removed, you have life. Because the scripture tells you in Ezekiel 18:4, the soul that's in it, what's going to happen to it? It shall die. So guess what? Amen. So guess what? So when sin is removed, what happens? What is removed when you don't sin? You don't die. Because he that is born of God do not commit sin. And if you're born of God, then you have eternal life, didn't it? Because he say he that is born of the water and the spirit going enter the kingdom, didn't it? He said if you're not born again, you can't get in. So if you're born of the word and you're born of the spirit, which means you're born of the things that are eternal. You're not born of dust. You're not born of flesh, which means the curse of the ground is no longer there. It makes sense, huh? Okay, let's go back to Genesis 8. We in verse 22. Now I seen you share the post. We're going to see if you can catch on to what was said here. And then we'll get into dealing with the priest and inheritance. But we have to deal with all that there first. Because verse 22 is going to tie it all in together. Because that's what the priest did. The priest offered sacrifices there. That's what they did. We're going to show you the same thing. We're going to show you the same thing. Ain't nothing changed. It's all the same word. It's all the same book. It all line up together. Now we in verse 22. In Genesis 8:22. Because this man said he ain't going to smite the earth anymore as he did before. Listen what he said. He said, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest and cold and heat and summer and winter and the day and night shall not cease. So what y'all think he talking about right here, y'all? This man said while the earth remains, all this stuff gonna be here. Let's see now. We're gonna deal with while the earth remains last. But let's see talking about, let's look at dealing with the earth remaining off the rip. I want y'all to go to, let's look at Isaiah 65 and 17. We'll work our way back. Matter of fact, before we go there, go to Isaiah 45 and 18. And then we'll get to Isaiah 65 and 17. Isaiah 45 and 18. Listen to what he say, y'all. He said, for thus saith Yah, that created the heavens, and God himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yah. There is none else. I have not spoken in secret in the dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. I Yah speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Now we got to sit there and see something right there. He just told you he made the earth to be inhabited, did he not? What you read about on your phone. Smart. You technology guys. You know what I'm talking about? But y'all, what y'all take from this man saying he didn't make the earth for nothing, he made it to be inhabited? What do y'all think he telling you? Anybody know? No, that tie into what? That tie into what you was asking me, Brittany. Now you see, ain't nobody going to heaven. Man just told you I didn't make the earth for nothing. Somebody gonna live here. He said somebody gonna live here. Look what else he said. Then he told you he ain't spoken secret, he spoke in the open. One thing for certain, two things for sure. Don't none of God's preachers speak in private. They speak in the open. He said he ain't spoken in a dark place. Did the Lord say he tell you to light, to set your light up on a candlestick? Did the Lord tell you that? Say he don't speak in secret. He say he speak in the open. Y'all bear with me. That thing keep going in and out. Let's get him back in here in a second. Look at verse 20. He said, assemble yourselves and come and draw near together, ye that escaped of the nations. They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image and pray unto a God that cannot save. See, that's what's wrong with these people out here in the earth right now. See, you see how everybody assembled themselves together for the feast day of Janus? Out here partying. Out here partying and jiving and juking to a God that couldn't save. Everybody talking about, I'm blessed by the Lord. It's a new year, I'm blessed. Huh? Everybody was happy on Christmas Day, praying to Saturnalia. Praying to a God that cannot save. See, we can't do none of this type of stuff right here. See, this is why the earth was smited with the flood the first time. That's why he gonna burn it up this time. Because he said while the earth remains, he ain't gonna smite it. But guess what? He gonna do something about that. Look at Isaiah 65 and 17. Because I know y'all done read this in Revelation. Y'all might have not known it was in the scriptures though. You gotta remember that these boys just ain't say stuff just to be saying it. It had a root and basis in the scriptures, man. Y'all give me a second. Let me get her back on. You alright? You following through so far? Huh?
Yeah, walking through it, man. Like trying to get this thing on.
because they they started off with some ESV version.
Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it.
So I gotta figure out how to fix them.
You got the same app that's on my phone.
All the thing?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Lord willing, she'll be back with us. Isaiah 65:17. Listen what this man say. Y'all let me know when you're done. Alright, Isaiah 65:17. He said, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth. The former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind." Now you heard what this man just say? This man just say he gonna make a new heaven and a new earth, and it's not gonna come. The old one ain't gonna come to mind. So that means this heaven that's above us right now, and this earth we standing on, he said you're not gonna remember it. It ain't even gonna come to your remember. Look at it in the 66th chapter of the very same book, and look what he say here in verse 22. I want you to keep in mind, because he said seed time and harvest going to remain while earth remains. Now, look what else he say now. Isaiah 66:22. Listen what it say. Matter of fact, back me up. It'll tie right back on in. Look at verse 20. I want you to look at verse 20. Thank the Lord. He just had something catch my mind. Look at verse 20. He said, "And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yah, out of all nations upon horses and chariots and litters and upon mules and upon swift beasts to my holy mountain, Jerusalem. Saith Yah, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yah. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith Yah." I want y'all to keep in mind, this man said he going to take to him some priests and some Levites. Anybody remember what Levi name mean? Brittany, what Levi name mean? To join, to cleave, to be one with Yah. Genesis 29:34 for those that don't know what that's at. It means to be joined to Yah. You know what I'm talking about? And we'll show you that with the Levite priests in a minute. Y'all just bear with me. Look what he say in verse 22. He say, "For as in Genesis 29:34 or Isaiah 66:20. Now we're in Isaiah 66:22. Look at verse 22, y'all. Listen to what he said. He said, "For as the new heavens and the new earth which I shall make shall remain before me, saith Yah, so shall your seed and your name remain." Because didn't he say while the earth remains, seed time and harvest time ain't going to cease? But he said the seed that's a part of that past earth, he said that's going to remain when he made the new heaven and new earth. Isn't that what he just said? Now let's look at Revelation 21:1. Revelation 21:1. Listen to what he said. He said, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." So now we see what he's talking about here now. So if there's a new heaven and a new earth, what you think is going to happen, Wayne? What you think about to come about? Let's see, but let's look at verse 2. "And I, John, saw the set apart city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them." Which son of Israel means to dwell? Anybody remember? I heard you, Brittany. What'd you say now? Exactly. Zebulon means to dwell. And remember what the Lord told you. "He that loved me and keep my commandments," he said, "I and my Father will make our abode in him." Which means that Zebulon and means we're going to dwell in him. And it's showing you the precursor of how he dwell in you. Then God going to come and you can dwell in his house as you allow him to dwell in your house. This is what else he said. And he said, "And they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God." All right, Captain, we're in Revelation 21. Now we're in verse 4. And it says, "And God shall be with them and be their God. And he said, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he saith unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful." You heard how he just said it would be no more death. So if there ain't no more death, ain't the curse of the ground which he done made been taken away? You see how that tie right back to what we just started with? Does that make even more sense for y'all now? About he said, "I will no longer curse the ground anymore for man's sake." So when he talking about seed time and harvest time, we about to see, this ain't just talking about planting no seeds and gathering up no fruits and no vegetables. You know what I'm talking about? We got to be able to get past the carnal way of thinking and sit here and see how this pertains to the Lord and our salvation. Look what he say here in verse 6 though. He said unto me, it is done. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water of life freely. So we got to see that and look at that. We just seeing the Lord in the beginning. The man said, I told you the end from the beginning from the end. You see the end being told to y'all in the beginning. Ain't some of this stuff the same stuff you see in the Genesis? He telling you the end from the beginning. What's that, a fresh pen there you got?
Stops.
Yeah, fresh out the pack too, there, man. I see you, buddy. Ballpoint?
No.
You saw it.
Like that dip behind pumps you use in
Okay.
kindergarten.
Do you think, young man? Do you think? Now he say seed time and harvest time. Let's see what that seed time is, y'all. Let's see what that seed time is. I want y'all to go look at Haggai. Haggai, 2nd chapter. Yes, sir. Haggai is right before the book of Zechariah, which is the second to last book in the Old Testament. Haggai 2:19. That's all we came here for. Listen to what he say. He say, is the seed yet in the barn? Yea, as yet the vine and the fig tree and the pomegranate and the olive tree have not brought forth. From this day will I bless you. So he said the seed ain't yet in the barn. Because when you plant seed, that doesn't mean the seed doesn't the seed have to have time to cultivate. No, the seed got to have time to cultivate, y'all. Remember what we read in John 12 and 24? Look at what he say in John 12 and 24. I want y'all to understand this here now. Huh? Because it takes time for some seed to grow. Anybody ever planted some seeds and it grew overnight? So look what he tell you in John 12 and 24. Because he said the seed ain't yet in the barn. He said, truly, truly, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abide alone. But if it die, it bring forth much fruit. So it's quite important that when that seed hit that ground, that it's got to die in order for fruit to be brought forth. Now, we dealt with fruit last week. Then we're dealing with that vine. If you dwell in him, he going to dwell in you, ain't he? And if he dwell in you, and you dwell in him, and you bring forth fruit, what is that fruit going to lead to? Look at Romans 6. He'll tell you what it leads to. I'll let Paul tell you what it leads to. I'll let Paul tell you. Paul said he want to tell you. Romans 6 by verse 18. Let's see what Romans 6 and 18 says. If I can get to the page. Romans 6 and 18. Listen to what he say, y'all. He say, being then made free from sin, you become the servants of righteousness. Matter of fact, make it 17. Listen to what he say. But God be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. So you need to thank God that when you used to serve sin, that you obeying the teaching that you got, that you can be freed from it. Which means you no longer curse from the ground that y'all curse. That curse taken off of you when you don't sin. Which means you won't die. Listen to what he say now. But then being made free from sin, you become the servants of righteousness. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as you have yielded your members servants to uncleanness and to iniquity unto iniquity, so now yield your members servants to righteousness and to set apartness. For when you were the servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. So guess what? When you committed sin, you were free from life. There was no way in the world you could have life and you were committing sin. Because ain't no way in the world. You're going to have to die for that seed to bring forth fruit. Because this man say seed time and harvest time going to be there till the earth remain. You think this man going to have people out here preaching the word once the new heaven and new earth come? You think that's going to happen, what?
No.
You think that's going to happen? That means if you ain't got the word, if the seed, and we're going to deal with it in a second, if you ain't got the word by the time this man get here, you not going to get it. That means you got to get it now. You got to get it now. While this man done seen fit to give you an opportunity to hear the word, you got to hear it now and you got to get it. Listen what he say now. He say, what fruit had you in those things whereof you are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. What fruit? If you're not ashamed of none of the things you did before you got into this man's word and you began to walk in this man's way and you're not ashamed of what you're doing, you need to. He told you that in Ezekiel 36, be ye ashamed of all your doings. He told you straight up, Israel, I don't do this for your sake. I do this for my holy name's sake. He said, y'all don't profane my name. My name is Israel. My name is power to rule as God. Y'all done defamed my name. You done made these heathen people think ain't no power in the name of y'all. He said, I got to do something about that. So you need to be ashamed of all the things you used to do. Because you said, what's the fruit of it? All you was going to do was die. Well, listen to what he say though. But now being made free from sin and become servants to God, you have your fruit under set apartness, and the end is everlasting life. So this is why that seed got to hit the ground and die. That's why he said it's the seed yet in the barn. Because what is that barn? What you think that barn is? What? That's somebody else. That's somebody else. That's somebody wherever they at. That ain't him. So what y'all think that's where that barn is, where the seed got to go? Anybody got an idea? We just read it. Huh? Y'all don't know? Lord willing, we'll see in a minute. Y'all gonna see in a minute. I want y'all to go look at Matthew 13. Matthew 13. Everybody all right? Y'all just bear with me. Oh, you are all right. He said, Barry said that was him, y'all. He said he apologized. You all right, Barry? I ain't know. Don't bother me now. I know it bothers some of them because they be trying to help. And I understand. I want y'all to look at Matthew 13. You were checking on the baby. I want y'all to look at Matthew 13, and we're gonna start at about verse 13, and we're gonna work our way down. Because he said the seed is not yet in the barn. Hold on, let me see, little mama. If he say the seed ain't yet in the barn, little mama, what you think that barn is? That seed going to? Huh? Yeah, the same thing little mama said, but we're gonna find out. No, and I can see where you would think your body, because we've got to read in Matthew 13. But remember, he said seed time and harvest time. So if the seed bring forth fruit, when do you take the fruit? You take it to the house, don't you? We just read where the man's house was at. But we'll get there in a minute. Matthew 13 and 13. He said, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. See, that goes along with what this grown man just told us about. We speak in conjunction and symbolism when we show you the whole book talking about the Lord. Now I'm going to ask y'all plainly. We ain't got all the way through verse 22 yet. But in verse 20 and 21 of Genesis 8, wasn't that clear to see that we're talking about the Lord? Was that conjunction and symbolism, or were y'all able to see that that's the Lord's testimony in that? Was y'all able to see that? Okay, let's keep on going now. Because now guess what though? When they see it, they can't see it. He said they see it, they can't see it. He said, and they hear, and they can't hear, and they can't understand. Because look what the Lord tells them. And then is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, will say, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, their ears are dull of hearing, their eyes have they closed, lest at any time they should see with their ears, and hear with their ears, see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. See, but listen what the Lord told them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. So y'all need to understand how blessed you is that you're able to see and hear these things. You know why y'all able to see and hear these things? Y'all, some of y'all may not be 100% the way you need to be, but y'all know why y'all can see and hear these things? Hold this right here and go to 1 John 3 and 5. Hold to Matthew 13, go to 1 John 3 and 5. Who that was looking to my brick to my know why? You gonna make me take a road trip. I promise. As soon as I get to Georgia, I'm gonna get this somebody to take me right up there to your front door. Huh? What you say?
You ain't going up there, man.
Why you say I ain't going? Cause you don't want me to go?
I don't care if you go.
No, he said you're not going to that front door.
Who I ain't going to her front door? I bet you lying. I bet I go to North Carolina. It ain't good for her. We got a few people we gotta go. I might take my belt with me. I don't even own one. Huh? 3rd chapter, 5th verse. I see you said you think I'm somebody. You think I'm a play toy, don't you? You think I'm something to play with. No, that what you think, what? I'm gonna learn you, boy. I'm gonna learn you. 1 John 3 and 5. He said, ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. So if there ain't no sin in him, and he was manifested to take away sin, don't that mean the ground ain't cursed no more? Look at verse 6 though. He said, Whosoever abide in him sin not. Whosoever sin have not seen him, neither known him. That's why people couldn't see him then, and that's why they can't see him now. That's why they can't see him now. That's why if y'all can hear him and y'all can see him, guess what also that means? Go to John 10. See, the reason why everybody be like, oh, that ain't the Lord, because that really irked my nerves. As Buddy like to say, that really grinded my gears. John 10 about verse 26. Make it 25. You know what I'm saying? Talking greasy, we just let the book talk. John 10 and 25. YESHUA answered them, I told you and you believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Don't you see how that John 8 and 20 and 21 bear witness of him? You heard I say the works in my Father that I do in my Father's name bear witness of me. So when this man say that Noah offered a clean beast for a sweet smelling savor, he wouldn't curse the ground no more. Then when he come and do that, didn't that bear witness of him? Come on now, y'all see that? Y'all don't see that? Listen what else he said. Listen what else he said. He said, but you believe not, because you are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. This is why y'all are able to see and hear and understand these things. The man say his sheep hear his voice, don't he? If you are his flock, you're going to hear what he got to say. Remember I used to tell Marie that all the time. You talking about certain people she knew, and she be like this here. They not of our flock. Because if they look at John 8 46. Because if they are the flock, they going to hear. The man say, my sheep hear my voice. John 8 47, matter of fact. John 8 47. Listen what he say. He said, he that is of God hears God's words. You therefore hear them not, because you're not of God. This is why these people can't see this man in the volume of the book. They're not of God. They're not supposed to hear it. That's why this man say, blessed are your eyes that you see, and blessed are your ears that you hear. How many people hearing this man in the volume of the book? How many of these people out here being told how to live properly according to this man's word? How many are hearing it? They're not hearing it. You gotta understand what you get. I thank the Lord for it. Like I said, a lot of stuff, man, stuff come to me. I be in the gym working out. Stuff just hit my mind. You know what I'm talking about? It's just stuff we had conversations, stuff just hit my mind. You just seen a manifestation of, we talking with a big old dummy. You know what I'm talking about? And you heard another man of God hundreds of miles away discuss the same thing just 2 days ago then. And we saying the same thing word for word. This stupid retarded nigga couldn't see it. Because he want to have him 4-5 wide. Nigga can't take care of himself. He want 4-5 wide. You know what I'm talking about? Don't make no sense. Go back to Matthew 13. This is what he say here in verse 17. He say, for truly I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and hear those things, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. And Peter told you about this here. The prophets looked diligent to see the things that the Spirit of the Messiah that was in them was talking about. But we've been blessed to get the better end of the deal. But look what he say here in verse 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When any man hear the word of the kingdom and understand it not, then come the wicked one and catch that which was sown in his heart. This is he which receives seed by the wayside. Anybody think they know what that means? You know what he's telling you right now?
You gotta watch the way. That parable when like seed is like when it goes in all the places. You know what I'm talking about?
No, basically this what he's talking about is somebody who hear the word, they don't understand it, and they already didn't believe it. Satan gonna come already and snatch that word for them. Because remember now in Luke 8 and 11, he tell you the seed is the word of God. So when he's sitting here telling you seed time and harvest time, you gotta remember, those who preach the word, they spread the seed, don't they? You know what I'm talking about? They spread the seed. So this man sitting here telling you, hey, somebody hear the word and they don't understand it. Satan gonna already steal away what was in their heart. They already didn't want to believe. They already didn't want to obey. You know what I'm talking about? Remember what he said? He said that they might be damned who have pleasure in unrighteousness. You know what I'm talking about? People who have pleasure in sin and want to do wrong. Like he told you in Romans 1, they don't retain God in their knowledge, so God gave them over to what? A reprobate mind. Reprobate mind. Because it wasn't in you to do it. Look what he say here in verse 20. He say, but he that receives the seed in stony places, the same as he that hear the word, and knowing with joy receive it. Yet he have no root in himself. But he endure for a while, for when tribulation or persecution arise because of the word, by and by he is offended. See, this is why the Lord said, blessed is he that shall not be offended in me. How many people gonna get, when these people come to you about you saying that it's wrong to be a homosexual, y'all gonna be offended at that when the people wanna lock you up? And these people tell you gotta eat a pork chop or die, you gonna be offended at that? And these people tell you gotta take a microchip in your forehead or in your right hand, or you ain't gonna be able to buy or sell. These people tell you they gonna kill you, you gonna be offended by that? When people persecute you, no, you don't need to take that. I'm just getting this out. Because if you know, if they come up and tell you, the book say that's going to be a mark be put in your hand or your forehead, and you ain't going to be able to buy or sell without it. And these people come tell you, you got to take this microchip, or you ain't going to be able to buy or sell. If you going to be offended at God and take it, or you going to be willing to die. Because remember, he said when persecution or tribulation arise because of the word. When you matter that as persecution or tribulation. When your family members tell you we not going to deal with you no more because you don't celebrate Christmas, or they talking down on you because you doing certain things, you're going to be offended. You know why people get offended? You ain't had no root in yourself. You wasn't rocked down solid on the rock anyway. Didn't he say he like a man who hear his words to a what? Man built his house on the rock now. So if you ain't made it built on the foundation of the word, when a little suffering comes, when a little tribulation comes, you're going to be like this here. I'm good. I don't want to do this no more. How many of y'all have seen somebody who say they want to deal with the word but they fell off? You know what I'm talking about? Y'all say if you ain't seen it, y'all don't deal with a lot of people. You know what I'm talking about? But have you ever seen somebody, if anybody y'all done dealt with somebody, you tell them you dealing with the word, they ask you still messing with that word? Because niggas want to see if you gonna fall off. You know what I'm talking about? I would have plenty if you still dealing with the Bible. No, nigga, I just picked it up just to fly for a couple weeks, then I'm put it back down. That's just retarded. But that's how people think. Look at the next verse. He said, he that receives seed among the thorns is he that hear the word and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word and he become unfruitful. See, this is the reason why a lot of y'all can't get right. This is why Marie can't get right. Because see, everybody fit in all these verses that he reads. Everybody fit. Nobody's exempt. This is why Marie can't get right. Because see, the deceitfulness of riches and the cares of this world, see, I got to do this and I want to do this. So when the word comes, you can't bear no fruit. You know why you can't bear no fruit? Because you didn't die. You see what he said? You can't bear no fruit. Remember what he said? If a seed falls in the ground, accepted by alone, it died. But if it died, bring forth much fruit. So when that word falls in your heart, it's you supposed to die. So then you can bring forth the fruit. You can't bring forth the fruit, you still living. Remember, we dealing with when that man went in the ground, he came up out the ground as a mist to water the ground. That's what he said in Isaiah 45. And when you water the ground, what does it do? It brings forth fruit. Look at Isaiah 45. Go back to Isaiah. Because for some people it is a hobby. It ain't real to them. Isaiah 45 and 8. That's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think people do stuff for a hobby. It's two things that I do. And I don't do them for no hobby. They're a lifestyle for me. That's preach this word and that's lift weights. Those are not hobbies for me. That's a lifestyle. I live that. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't just something I do. You know what I'm saying? You just don't get up and say, hey, I'm going to squat 400 pounds today. Going to bench press 300 ounces today because that's a hobby. You have to be dedicated to that. If you ain't dedicated to something, why do it? See, we could be dedicated to everything in the world except our salvation. Isaiah 45 and 8. Listen what he said. He said, drop down ye heavens from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation. Let righteousness spring up together. I, Yah, have created. He told me to tell you, when he told you to drop down ye heavens, he talking about that spirit he gave to his son. When he poured down righteousness, he talked about the Holy Ghost. He tell you that in Hosea 6. But he said when the earth opened, let it bring forth salvation. When was the earth open to bring forth salvation? So the ground wouldn't be cursed no more. When that happened? So when earth opened to bring forth salvation? When he rose from the dead. When he rose from the dead, salvation, death been defeated. Now the ground ain't cursed, you can live. This is what else he said. He said, spring up, he said, let righteousness spring up together. Y'all created it. Y'all created us to be, you see how he told you to end from the beginning? Because he told you when New Jerusalem come, wasn't going to be there no more. It wasn't going to be no more death. So you see the first three people where that seed fell into, because they didn't die, they're not going to bring that fruit to everlasting life, like Paul told you in Romans 6. He told you way back in Genesis 2 about that mist that was coming out the water of the ground. Because you can't bring forth a seed unless it's watered. Well, that word ain't going to be able to be brought forth unless the Spirit come in there and water it. Which means you got to hear the word. The man said, the words I speak unto you, they spirit in our life. Not only do you have to receive the seed of the word, you got to let it be watered. So it can bring forth fruit. Which means you got to obey it. You got to tend it until it. Go back to Matthew 13. Matthew 13. Back to Matthew 13. Yeah, this thing's just jumping in and out, man. Y'all bear with me. We gonna get to the priest matter in a second, but we got to deal with Genesis 8 first. Look what he said in verse 23 though. He said that he that receives seed into the good ground is he that hear the word and understand it, and which also bear fruit and bring forth some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. So when you hear the word and understand it, remember, knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Knowledge of Yeshua the Messiah is understanding. We know the Son of God has come, and he's given us an understanding that we may know him that is true, and that we may be in him that is true. Even in his Son, Yeshua the Messiah, this is the true God, and this is eternal life. You gotta understand that. When the word falls in your heart, you need to understand it and hearken and do it. Like, I'm not hitting the ground, I'm hitting the arm.
And the arm gets too much.
No, it doesn't hit the ground. That's utterly impossible. Yeah. Get up smart on that one there, buddy. You know what I'm talking about?
Chairs on the ground.
Drop down to verse 37. Drop down to verse 37. Listen to what he said. Yeah, you got to cut. Matter of fact, make it verse 30. I want y'all to hear what he say now. Because he said seed time to harvest. Because tonight when we see how the seed is the spreading of the word, now you're going to see that when we get in more in depth with these preachers. Verse 30, Matthew 13. He said, let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So now we're about to get ready to see why he said is the seed in the barn. So let's see this here, because he's saying there's a fruit in the barn. Verse 37. So verse 36. Then Yeshua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. So the good seed is the word, right? Now we know the seed is the word of God. So we're going to deal with something. I want you to look at John 13 and 20. We're going to tie into something. Hold this Matthew 13. Look at John 13 and 20. John 13 and 20. And it says, truly, truly, I say unto you, he that receives whomsoever I send, receive me. And he that receives me, receive him that sent me. Now, if Yeshua is the one who got the good seed, don't you think whoever he sent going to have the good seed too? Anybody know where the law is talking about somebody being sent? You know what that's at in the law about? I'm talking about the first 5 books and narrow it down. Anybody know what that's at in the law? I'm talking about specifically.
What?
He said anybody whom he sends. So where can we read about Yeshua being sent? Let's go to number 16 and 28. Deuteronomy was close. That wasn't what we're looking for. Either way. Let's look at number 16 and 28. Because you know, if you got the word, you got to be sent, right? See, this is a whole different. See, a lot of people out here, they ain't been sent. Yeshua said, whomever he sent. Number 16 and 28. And there it is. You see that? The number 16 and 28? To an automatic voice message system. I was saying that's where to start with it. You moved it. Donkey. your fault. It's always your fault. When it ain't your fault, it's your fault. I still ain't got no ball. Alright, it just dropped again. I bet you don't put your hands on me, cuz. Yeah, I know it. It's number 1628. Everybody ain't back on the line. Yeah, hold on. What you say you gonna do, bro? What you say you gonna do?
Just wait and see.
Say it again. Say it again. Alright. Say it again. Say another word.
Another word?
Please say another word.
Another word?
Shut up, nigga. Straight up. Straight up.
Alright,
Yeah. Straight up. I know after a while you're gonna have to discard him. Yeah, that move, I know you enjoy it. Shoot the nigga smoke a reefer cuss. It's funny moving now. It's wrong. After a while, you should have a distaste for it. What you say?
What?
It ain't never just a movie. It ain't never just a movie. Still ain't got no phone. Alright. Gotta bear with me, man. This phone sucks when it comes to Metro. Number 1628. Alright. That's on you. But you gonna probably miss most of it. You should have said something about that beforehand. He was able to do that. Number 1620. Number 1628. And it says, Moses said, hereby yeah. I just got one bar again. And I'm standing in the same place I wore the last time. No haps. No haps. So it didn't even matter. Didn't even matter. Matter of fact, it's worse now. Ain't even get no signal. Y'all hold on. Ain't even get no signal. Golly. Huh? That's not going to make it better, and that's utterly insane. It's 30 degrees outside.
Sure you go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nigga wild. It ain't go.
Yeah, it's cold outside.
You gotta watch live stream for that comment.
Yeah, it's cold outside. Good and cold. Y'all hear? I'm talking about good and cold. That cold snap just ain't, we in North Florida, so we feel some of them cold snaps that we ain't that far down south. And we'll miss that. Listen what he said in number 1628. It said, Moses said, hereby ye shall know that Yah have sent me to do all these works. I have not done them of my own mind. This man sitting here telling you, God sent him to do it. If God sending you to do it, you going to say what God say do. Look at John 7. Yeah, y'all hear me? See, if God send you to do something, it's not. Y'all hear me? Everybody on now. It's just the signal is outright horrible right now. We ain't getting no haps. There we go. Y'all hear me now? Now ain't nobody gonna crack nothing.
Yeah, that's what you said about the last one. What happened?
I didn't say that about the last one.
You got a witness, 2 witnesses.
I didn't say nothing about that. Wasn't nobody present when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody was there with me when that happened.
So how did it get there?
How did it got there?
Yeah, grab screen just like that. You grab my screen like that.
No, I didn't grab it like that.
Spoke it now.
I picked it
Yeah,
up.
alright, and I done spoke it. Grab it again like that, and he ain't gonna be getting used.
Oh, nigga, I don't care which one you use.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like your tone, son.
You ain't gotta like it. Just talking to it, man.
Hold up, boy.
But a lot of people don't like the word. What they say? Talking to it.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna walk my foot in your bum.
Like what words say? Talking to it.
All right, look at number 1628. I guess he'll catch on in another time. That's you want to move back here with this wretched, horrible signal.
If you with that Pohon Metro. AT&T get the great something back there.
No, I done been on your phone where it did the same thing. And that's real. I ain't even just saying that. Like, seriously. I already know sitting or something like that. Your phone dropped. The calls when me and Nell were talking on the phone, we all moving over here. Number 16:28. Say, Moses said, hereby ye shall know that Yah have sent me to do all these works. I have not done these of my own mind. So he's sitting here telling you the stuff that he's doing, he's not doing of his own mind. So let's look at John 8, then we'll go to John 7. Because it is tie in. If a man is sent by God to preach God's word, all he's going to do is say what God tells him to say. He ain't going to be saying what he want to say. See, while all these preachers out here, they out here saying what they want to say. It don't matter if they Israelite preachers or they Sunday preachers. They all doing the same thing. John 8:28. He said, then said Yeshua unto them, when you lift up the Son of Man, then you shall know that I am he. And that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father taught me, I speak these things. He that sent me is with me. The Father hath not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. You think those that God done sent, you think that he ain't with him? You think they ain't doing things that please him? Look at John 7:16. This is the first key thing to know if you know of God's Son, man. John 7:16. 7 and 16. We still got to get back, finish that Genesis 8:22. So all this stuff gonna tie in a minute. How the Lord is a priest and all this. And y'all just bear with it. He said, Yeshua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. So who's his teaching belong to? It belongs to his Father. So anybody that got this, didn't Yeshua say whoever sinned, who he sinned, receive him that sinned? So that means who teaching it is who Yeshua done sent. Who they teaching belong to? Belongs to Yeshua's Father. This is what else he say. This is what else he say. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself. So when it comes down to this here, if you do his will, you're going to never know if I'm speaking of me or if I'm speaking of God. All you got to do is just hearken to it, listen to it, and obey it and live it, and you'll see who it comes from. He said, he that speak of himself seek his own glory, but he that seek his glory that's in him, the same is true, and there's no unrighteousness in it. Who glory being sought every time we sit down and go through the book? Is it my glory being sought, or is it God's glory? Who being glorified? Me or God? Then you won't know who doctrine it is. But let's see something else. Look at 1 Corinthians 9. See, this is the key thing. Then we go to Romans 10. Because the man just said the Son of Man is the soul of the good seed. So that means whoever he's seeing going to have the same seed. If I can get to 1 Corinthians 9 in the time to now. 1 Corinthians 9. Let's look at about verse 9. Matter of fact, look at verse 7. He said, who go a warfare any time at his own charges? Who plant a vineyard and eat not of the fruit thereof? Or who feed a flock and eat not of the milk of the flock? Say I these things as a man, or saith not the law the same also? For it is written in the law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that tread out the corn. Does God take care for oxen? So now right now he's talking about administering to the Lord's priest. And we're going to show you how that tie into all these things in a minute. Because see, what y'all got to understand is a priest don't have no inheritance. As I was discussing with somebody earlier, if somebody is sent by God and is chosen to be a priest, that means they're not going to be caught up in worldly things. Didn't he just say he got to receive the good ground, they ain't caught up in things in this world? That just don't pertain to just the people, the congregation. That also pertains to the priest. Because the priest is not going to have an inheritance. Huh? There it is. That just don't pertain to priests. I mean, just to the people. Priests don't have no inheritance, and y'all gonna see that. Y'all just bear with me. He say for verse 10. He say, "Or saith he altogether for our sakes? For our sakes, no doubt that it is written that he that plow should plow in hope, and he that thresh in hope shall be a partaker of his hope." He said, "If we sown unto you spiritual things, it is a great thing if we shall reap your carnal things." Now this Paul is telling you, saying that if I sow to you spiritual things, it shouldn't be a small thing if we reap up carnal things. That's all we're telling you. He said, if other these partakers of this power over you, are not we rather? Nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things, lest we should hinder the gospel of the Messiah. See, now this is Paul talking. Now, y'all know what office Paul was? You know what Paul was? You remember how Smith was talking about this last week? See, Paul said, I didn't use this power to abuse it. Because Paul said, I could take tithes, but I don't do it. Now you remember a little much why Paul didn't take it? Exactly, because Paul's an apostle. So you know Paul didn't have a family. Y'all know what a bishop got? Paul is an apostle. You hear me? Good grief. Y'all hear me now? Okay, now Paul's an apostle. Paul just sitting here telling you he has power to take tithes, but he don't take them. Y'all know why Paul didn't take no tithes? This thing is going in and out repeatedly. It's really hurting my nerves. Y'all know why Paul didn't take no tithes? Y'all hear me? Hello? Yeah, it just dropped the calls. Yeah, some of them can't use it. Everybody don't have a computer. Alright, hold on. What is this phone doing, man? What do you say? You know you ain't got no man.
No, he said, I said maybe you should help him.
Alright. This thing is just a man. Shit. That's it. They're rough, boy. And they do what he want to do. And they go from 1 to 4 to 4 to 1, jump to 2 and roll to 3. Slowing down. Hello? Hello? Slowing down the pace. Hello? What in the world, man? Call this froze. That's right. Golly. Man, I'm sorry, man. This thing's starting to really hurt my nerves now. It's really starting to hurt my nerves. It's slowing me down too. And just dropping and dropping and dropping. It don't do this but over here too. It don't do it nowhere else. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, well, we all back in there.
Yeah. I mean, I just hate it.
Cell tower.
Huh?
Saying you like to close to a cell tower.
I know it. Hello? That's what be pissing me off.
Like you look back there and it's
It's number 1. I got you. Hold on. I know that's why I keep doing it, because there ain't no cell towers back there. I mean, you gotta have top of the line service back there.
Well, AT&T.
Yeah, AT&T wants too much money.
Maybe. Agreed. You know. That dispute that no.
But like I say though, they used to do that on even with your phone. It was a little better compared to this.
I mean, if you stationary with mine, it's usually straight. But if you moving,
That's gonna get like wrong. Once you start going out that front door till you actually like get out the apartment, man, look.
so why don't you go out?
Yeah, all right. Now anybody know why Paul didn't take no tithes? Because this is what Paul telling you now. When you look at verse 12, he say, others be partakers of this power over you, or not we rather. Nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things, lest we should hinder the gospel of the Messiah. So Paul's sitting here telling you, I don't take it. He said, I have the power to take it, but I don't do it. Anybody know why he don't do it? And it went right back to one bar. godly. Any of y'all understand why he says this? No, I'm talking about Paul saying that he has power to take tithes, but he chooses not to do so. Do you understand why he's not doing so? Hey, Barry, Paul, now we look this right here in verse 12 of 1 Corinthians 9, that Paul say that he has power to take tithes, but he doesn't do so. Do you understand why Paul would say this? Now, Paul telling you here in verse 12, in 1 Corinthians 9, that others have power to take tithes, and he has this same power also, but he doesn't do so. Do you understand why he wouldn't do it? See, the reason why, because Little Muffin them just heard why last week. I want to see if y'all understand why. Why that, Glove? Didn't I just tell you about this? Go ahead. See, Paul was an apostle, and he was also celibate, meaning he was a single man. He didn't have a wife and a family. What does a bishop have to have? And he got to have family. So it would make sense that a bishop take time. He got somebody to take care of. But see, Paul ain't had nobody to take care of. He didn't take care of himself. He said, you know what? I ain't going to hinder the gospel of the Messiah. I ain't going to take it. Because who all Paul got to take care of? All Paul got to take care of himself. You remember when I used to work that job, I used to tell y'all that? You ain't got to buy me nothing, I buy it myself. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know, Bill used to want to buy me this and buy me that. I'm like, you ain't got to do that, man. I got a job. Yeah, I wasn't making that much money, but I got a job. You know what I'm talking about? But as the time it done got closer, all things being accomplished, yeah, that's going to have to be done. Because you can see now, if I had an earthly job, he ain't even allowed me to get one, even come close to getting one. Because there's no way in the world a priest going to be able to work an earthly job and preach the word. Because we're going to show you that now. A priest's inheritance is the y'all. We're going to show you how YESHUA came to make you priest and make you Levi and cleave to him if you were a man. And it worked the same way. So let's look down here in verse 14. Listen what he says. Or verse 13 is actually where we at. He said, do you not know that they which minister about set apart things live of the things of the temple, and they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? Didn't Noah say he offered clean things on the altar? Wasn't YESHUA offering? So don't those that wait on the altar, if you minister about the offering of the word, shouldn't you be clean too? And the way you're going to be set apart and the word set apart, I mean, you're not going to be set apart and you dealing with a set apart word. Ain't going to be difference. You got a clean gospel and you ain't clean. It don't make no sense. So listen to what the Lord said. Or what the Lord said through Paul. He said, even so have the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live up the gospel. So now you can see if somebody been sent. See, look at Jeremiah 3 and 15. But now we're going to get to the crux of the matter. We'll get to that harvest time and that day and night and something. Huh? Yeah, I know. We're going to get back to it. I appreciate you, though.
Yeah, I could keep up with it now. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that. You got something like this here, huh? You rolling, huh? You rolling. You rolling.
You know what I'm saying?
3 and 15.
You know what I'm saying?
He got him a new toy. He want to use it. He want to flex his technology muscle.
You know what I'm saying?
Go on here and flex. Look at it. Look at it. He want to show us if it say he want to show us 22s. I ain't talking about no 22-inch inches. I'm talking about 22 pistols. Got no guns. Got no AK-47s.
They kill just the same.
Oh boy, I can't show mine. The camera running. Jeremiah 3 and 15. He said, I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Now what's another word for pastor, y'all? Elder, shepherd, all these things pertaining to this here. So that means that's a head of a congregation right there. Now, who is the chief bishop? Because remember, he said, set a man over the congregation that the people be not sheep without a shepherd. Exactly, because remember, Peter told you that YESHUA is the chief shepherd and bishop of our souls. Now, we dealt with this in times past, that a bishop got to be the husband of one wife. YESHUA got one wife. Bishop got to be blameless. YESHUA was blameless. Bishop got to have children that are not accused of unruly or riot. YESHUA had children that are not accused of unruly or riot, because everybody that born of him doesn't do what? Sin. So therefore you see how YESHUA fulfilling the office of a bishop and why Paul wrote what he wrote. So therefore, when you're a bishop, you can't be a bishop and you don't have a wife. I'm going to show you that. Look at 1 Peter 5 and 1. Remember this, you should remember this, dear Glover. I just was showing this to you the other day. No, I'm telling the Glover. I was just showing you this here the other day by Peter, the one the Glover. 1 Peter 5 and 1. Listen what he said. He said, the elders which are among you, I exhort, whom also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of the Messiah, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. If Peter said he's an elder, what does that make Peter? Exactly. Well, if he's married, then what office is he holding? Y'all see it in there. So if he's married and he just said he's an elder, what office is Peter holding? A bishop. And that means he's a bishop and an apostle. But anybody know where it's mentioned that we can confirm that Peter had a wife? Because you know it's in the book that Peter got a wife. You know where it's at? What Peter got a wife was?
I know what I'm saying.
Y'all go to Matthew 8 and 14. Because I had a man tell me Peter ain't had no wife. And he said he'd been teaching the word for years. He took his correction. But it's amazing how men say stuff and you're supposed to be a teacher of the word. Matthew 8 and 14. It says, and when Yeshua was coming to Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick of a fever. And he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered unto them. So what if we just ascertain Peter had a wife, didn't he? Because when you see something about a bishop, it says a bishop can't be greedy for filthy lucre. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, a man can't be a bishop and he's preaching for tithe money. That can't be his reason for doing it. You know what I'm talking about? Because it makes sense for a bishop to get it. A bishop's whole life is to preach the word. That's his whole life. That's his whole life. He don't partake in nothing else. He don't do nothing else. When it comes down to Paul being an apostle, Paul wasn't over no congregation. So it wasn't needful for Paul to take it. Paul ain't got no wife to take care of. Paul ain't got no children to take care of. Paul wrote to you in 1 Timothy. He said if a man don't take care of his own, especially they of his own household, he's denied the faith and is an infidel. Don't Yeshua take care of his own household? Don't he do the same thing? Because the book say that he ain't never seen the righteous forsaken or begging for bread. He said he ain't never seen that. Ain't that Yeshua taking care of his own house? Don't make sense for the Lord not to do what he say. See, people can't even sit here and read the stuff this man write and tie it back to the Lord. All this stuff tied back to the Lord. All this stuff is tied right back to the scripture. Here it is. Go back to Matthew 13. Back to Matthew 13. Lord willing, man, this signal bear with us so we can get finished. So we stop here in Matthew 13 and about verse 37. And he says, he answered and said unto them, he that sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. So we know Yeshua giving the seed to his creatures. He said, the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. And as therefore the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so shall it be at the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them with iniquity, and they shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be a wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. He who hath ears to hear, let him hear. So now, if the wheat being brought in the barn, what you can ascertain that barn is? Let's look in the law and let's see if we get some understanding. Go to Leviticus 23. Because anybody know what feast day it is the Lord coming back home? That was the end of, that was starting at Matthew 13 about verse 37 all the way to about verse 43. Leviticus 23. So now we can see that seed time still remain, right? Because the earth still remain, right? But anybody got an idea what feast day the Lord coming back on? He already came. Passover been fulfilled. You know, so it's 3 times we came up a year. No. Not atonement either. Atonement been fulfilled. There it is. Because what's another name for tabernacles? I mean, I know it. What you do at tabernacles? But during tabernacle, we're going to see what tabernacle is about. Verse 39 of Leviticus 23. Listen what he said. Because he said seed time and harvest time, right? Verse 39. He said, also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep a feast unto Yah 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. So guess what? On that first day, that's going to symbolize that 7th day of rest when we dwell in well in the land, right? And that 8th, verse 39, Leviticus 23 and 39. Because you know what's another name for tabernacles? It's called ingathering. Because at tabernacles is what? That's a harvest feast. That's when you gathered in all the crops. That's why he say, gather the wheat in my barn. He was letting you know when he was coming back in that parable in Matthew 13, if you know the law. That's why he said, is the seed yet in the barn? That's why he said in Malachi 3 and 10, bring the tithes into my storehouse, that it may be meat in my house. You know, them Christian people like to use that one there to get you to pay their tithes on. But they ain't even realize this. This man said, bring my tithes into my storehouse. Bring the things that I done purchased, bring it in my house. So I can have some meat in my house. Because his house is time, that's in that. That's what the Lord coming to do. That's seed time all the time. Don't you know when the man send the man out to spread the seed, to bring the word that he hoping to bring forth fruit so he can bring that fruit back in his house? And that's what he come to do at harvest time. That's tabernacles. Pentecost is 3 times a year we had to come up. Passover, Pentecost, and tabernacle. Passover been fulfilled when he died as the lamb. Pentecost been fulfilled when he gave the Spirit. But tabernacles ain't been fulfilled. Has he came and got it yet? Did he tell you in Matthew 24? He said he'll come and gather his elect from the 4 winds of the earth. He told in Isaiah, I gather the children of Israel one by one. I got to bring you in the barn. I got to bring you in the city. I got to bring you back to the land. But let's see what day and night and summer and winter and heat and cold stop. Go to Isaiah 49. Isaiah 49 by verse 10. Then we'll go to Revelation 21 and we'll get to the priest and wrap that up. That makes sense for all this stuff in Genesis 8. You see how the seed time, because the earth's still here, right? Golly. This just don't make no sense. Yeah, but it ain't even raining.
It's cold. Wind blowing warm.
Man, it did it when it was warm. These people, hey man, y'all forget this thing blows bums. Straight bums. Y'all forgive me, man. Good grief. I'm talking about when we just finna get ready to roll. They do it every, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to go ahead and get this on wrapped up. You know what I'm talking about? I say, only back here. I hate this area.
There it is you.
Our graduate does. This whole country hates me. I'm black. Yeah, it's going to go in and out. It's going to drop the call from here that we just got to deal with. It's really irking my nerves. Ain't much I can do about it. All right, Brittany. So luckily for Drew out there hit way, it ain't but 8:45. Yeah. We still ain't got the cross. That's what blows. Yeah, this was actually probably going to be about a 2-hour lesson. What you got to do? Alright. Huh? You got something to do?
Not look at your face no more.
Yeah. Jokes. Isaiah 49 and 10, y'all. We'll see how this day and night gonna cease. And 10. If I can get in the book of Isaiah, maybe we can tighten up and go. Isaiah 49:10. Listen to what he says now. He says, they shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. For he that hath mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs of water shall he guide them. This man just sat here and told you that if there's not going to be no heat, then what does that mean it's not going to be? That means there ain't going to be no summer then either, is it? Because when the heat comes, you got to remember, there's no spring and fall with the Most High. You just read that in Genesis 8:22. It's just summer and winter. Ain't no spring or fall. 6 months summer, 6 months winter. This year, we have 13 months though. We're in the 11th month right now, but there's another new moon at the end of this month, which we call January. It will take us in the month of Adar, and then another new moon in February, towards the end of February, which will give us month 13. And yeah, I noticed that when Nell told me about it, because she was like, yeah, we got 13 months this year. Because I'm like, yeah, the new moon's a little early, about a week early. You know what I'm talking about? New moon came in a week early, and I was like, yeah, this is not normal. But the new year start on schedule in usual time, late March or early April, whatever it can be. I don't know the exact time right now. But we got 13 months this year. But our new year is coming. So now you see that he said there ain't gonna no heat, no sun gonna smite him. So look at Revelation 21. Because Revelation 21, we already know a new heaven, a new earth has been made. Woo! So Revelation 21 about verse 23. So 22. So don't let nobody tell y'all it's spring and fall. There is no spring and fall with our God. It's just something in one. When we get in the 7th month, which is the first day of that 7th month, is memorial blowing the trumpets. That's when winter starts. That's why he say seed time to harvest time. Because harvest time, because obviously tabernacle, that's when the harvest ends. You planted your seed during Passover, which is in the summer, which is in the 1st month, which is Abib. That's when you planted the seed. You finished all your harvesting up in the 7th month, which is at the end of the year. You don't harvest in the winter time. You ever seen anybody harvesting crops in the winter time? Exactly. Revelation 21 and 22. He said, and I saw no temple therein, for Yah Elohim Almighty and the Lamb of the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. Verse 25. He said, and the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. So now we see day and night gone too, ain't it? Because if there's no need for the sun, that means there's no daytime. But we know God is light. That's the light that manifests. That's what these stupid people can't see when we tell them Genesis 1 and 3 talking about YESHUA. Because how can that be light and the sun wasn't made yet? Because you dumb idiot, God is light. You know what I'm talking about? Just shows you how ignorant and how stupid people can be. So now you see, the earth is gone. The old earth is gone when we read this in Revelation 21. So we already know when we read in Revelation 21, seed time had already came, right? Because the word been ministered. Harvest time had already came because the people been gathered. You know what I'm talking about? Summer and winter gone because they don't have no heat or no cold. Day and night is gone because the Lord is there to give them light. You see how that pertains to him? He said, while the earth remains, all these things going to be here. So right now, seed time's still going. The word's still being ministered. It's still a time for you to be harvested. We still got summer. We still got winter. We still got hot. We still got cold. Because I know right now in Chicago where you at, it's good and cold, ain't it? You got to put on a full body suit to come out the door. You know what I'm saying? But we also know day and night still out there. You look outside, the moon out there giving light, ain't it? So we already know this here. But when the Lord come back, all that's going to cease. But now let's go on back and let's look at deal with these priests' mouths. I want y'all to go to Genesis, the 41st chapter. It might not be 41, but let me make sure. Let's deal with these priests so we can get on done so y'all can do what y'all got to do. Oh, I'm sorry, Genesis 47. Genesis 47. Genesis 47 and about verse 20. Let's show y'all something about these priests. We'll show you how it ties to YESHUA being a priest, making those who believe in him priests, and how that pertains to tithes and all that there, because people think that you don't tithe in the New Testament no more. But we'll show you how all that works. Genesis 47 to 20. 47 to 20. Listen to what he said. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because of the famine prevailed over them, so the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities, from one end of the borders of Egypt, even to the other end thereof. Don't that sound familiar? Didn't Moses give a lot of land to all the tribes of Israel when they entered into the land? You see how he just said Pharaoh sent the people to one end of the city to another, gave everybody a spot, right? Now listen what he said here in verse 20. Verse 22. He said, only the land of the priest bought he not, for the priest had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Does this sound familiar? This man say, the priest got a... Huh? I know it. Because everything in the book now. Listen what he said in verse 26 actually. He said, Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the fifth part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh. You got to remember, everything, you got to have two witnesses. You just see the same thing that in Egypt, the priests only had a portion of the land there. They didn't have an inheritance with the rest of the people. Let's look at Levi. Let's look at Numbers, the 3rd chapter. Because he just mentioned it. That sounds like the Levi. Sounds just the same thing, don't it? So we can find all these things. You guys skip in the book. You can see these things. You see how we just talk about. You see how you just pop that group and say that sounds like the Levites. Because Numbers 3. Let me see. You see what I want. Numbers 3. I might need to get on around that corner. Numbers 3, about verse 12. This is what he says. And he says, verse 12. Numbers 3 and 12. If I spin for a second, maybe I can, hold on. If I spin for a second, there goes a bar. He said, behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel, instead of all the firstborn that opened the matrix among the children of Israel. Therefore the Levites shall be mine, because all the firstborn are mine. For on that day I smote all the firstborn of the land of Egypt. I hallowed unto me all the firstborn in Israel, both man and beast. Mine they shall be. I am Yah. So the Levites belong to Yah, which means that's their inheritance. Because remember, Levi means to cleave. It means to be joined to God. So that's their inheritance. It's another chapter. I need to find it. Dang. Well, he mentioned that specifically. Y'all give me a second, unless you remember. Hey, Bear, you remember the verse that where he says specifically to get in more than tithes, man? So we can get rolling where we got to be at. So we got to get finished. There it is. Numbers 18. Thank the Lord. Numbers 18, verse 23. Matter of fact, make it verse 20. Numbers 18 and 20. Just keep in mind now that what Levi means, and that Levites are the priests, and that means to be joined. Keep that in mind now. Numbers 18 and 20. And Yah spake unto Aaron, thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shall they have any part among them. I am thy part and thy inheritance among the children of Israel. No, that's the same thing we just read in Genesis then. He said, I'm their inheritance. He said, you don't have no part among them. He said, and behold, I've given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Now Paul was to be considered a priest as an apostle, but you heard what he said. He said, I don't take. He said, I got power to take, but I don't take. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to hinder the gospel of the Messiah. I can, but I don't do it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't have no need for it. I can get out this here. But you see, Paul had, what was Paul doing other than preaching? Now you see how, man, how can you be a preacher and you doing everything but moving the word? Look at 2 Timothy 2. Hold the Numbers 18. Look at 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter. Looking at verse 1. Second chapter, 2 Timothy 2, verse 1. 2 Timothy 2 and 1. He says, therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in the Messiah Yeshua, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. So if he's telling Timothy to commit things to faithful men, that means that he's a teacher, isn't he? And he's telling him to give the word to other faithful men that they can teach. He said, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier, Yeshua the Messiah. No man that war entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who've chosen him to be a soldier. How are you going to be able to please the Lord who's chosen you to be a soldier and you trying to work a job? And you trying to run a business? How are you going to be able to please the man? You're not going to be able to war and move the word, are you? How are you going to be able to do it? But ask yourself, if a man's supposed to be a bishop and over a congregation, and he working an earthly job, don't you think his congregation going to suffer? Or his job going to suffer? You think he's going to be able to do both? You think he's going to be able to be a full-time pastor and work a full-time job? Anybody think you can be able to be? Anybody think a man can be a? Anybody think a man can be a full-time pastor and work a full-time job? Anybody think that's possible? You better know it.
If you work from home, it's a better job than there, 10 hours.
You know what I'm saying? But now what he just said, though, if you working from home, ain't you going to want to grow your own business out of a while? Because this is what he just said. He said you can't have two masters. You're going to love one and hate the other. You're going to cleave to one and lose the other. Because that means your congregation going to slack. So you mean to tell me if your people call you, you got to say, I'm working right now. Call me back later. You're not going to be able to do that. Because what did he say Peter them? He told Peter them. He said, man, we done forsook all. This man said you can't entangle yourself with the cares and affairs of this life if you're going to please him that chose you as a soldier. There's no way you're going to be able to do it. Because see, he's talking about a man who's a minister. See, look what he told him in verse 15. I told you, everybody like to run to this word right here. Look at verse 11 though. Just go back to that seed and that seed down. Look at verse 11. He said it's a faithful saying. For if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If you ain't willing to die, you're not going to live with him. If that seed don't die in your heart and you die in your flesh, you're not going to live with him. He said if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. So guess what? If you ain't willing to take that suffering and tribulation like we just heard, you're not going to reign with him because you ain't going to be found worthy. He said if we deny him, he will also deny us. Guess what? Just denying him, you know how men deny him? Not only in their lifestyles and they deny him, like he said in Titus, he said they claim that they know him, but in works they deny him. But men deny him when the testimony brought to him. When you show them this is about your Savior, they saying it ain't him. On top of you living a sinless lifestyle. Guess what else he say? He gonna deny you too. Nigga, you don't know me. Nigga, I don't know you. Huh? That's how it gonna work. Then what he say? Of these things put them in remembrance, charging them before the Lord, that they strive not about words to no profit, but to the subverting of the hearers. For those of y'all who like talk with people in the word, don't be striving the words with people that don't cause no gain. Don't be wasting your time with people that ain't gonna profit, that won't come to it. Because ain't nobody gonna cause somebody to stumble out the way. Let these stupid people be stupid. Paul said if a man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. But listen what he say. This is a verse everybody like to use. But listen what he say. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Ain't everybody like to ascribe that word to themselves. Ain't everybody like to say, but what was Timothy, y'all? Y'all know what Timothy was? No. He was a minister. He was a preacher. It would make sense for him to tell a preacher to study the word, wouldn't it? You just heard him say, commit these things to faithful men that they may teach others. Remember, Paul told you in Romans 10, he said, how could a man preach except he be sent? We just read all the spots talking about how a man got to be sent. Where can we read where a man sat and taught himself the word to go preach others? When we just read a few weeks ago with that eunuch, with Philip. That eunuch said, how can I? He said, you understand what you read? He said, how can, except a man guide me? When we read that verse, he said, even though you won't believe it, even though a man do what? Declare it unto you. Has God, remember in Exodus 20, God spoke to the people directly then. What did the people say, what? He said, let Moses talk to her. We don't want to hear you lest you die. God ain't spoke directly to the people ever since. Because I'm telling y'all now, if a man say he ain't been taught by somebody, then he's saying he's an apostle. Then shouldn't that man be able to prove his apostleship? Why don't you think he should be able to prove it? So if he can't prove his apostleship, then guess what, y'all? He ain't no apostle. Do any of y'all know what it means to be an apostle? And that means you got a mystery of the Messiah along with it. So if a man telling you he taught by God and he ain't got no teacher, he ain't got no elder, he ain't been a part of no camp, and he can't show you the Lord out the book, that man's not an apostle. Because remember, Paul was taught the perfect manner of the law. He wasn't taught the mystery of the Messiah by no man though. He was taught that by the Lord. You got to know the difference. If you ain't, you got to be taught by somebody. You either get it from God or you get it from a man. There is nothing ashamed about being taught by no man. We just read in the prophets the man said, I'm going to give you pastors according to my heart to give you knowledge and understanding. So if a nigga come up telling you he ain't never been taught, you got to ask this dude, where did you get the word from? Who taught you? Where did you get it from? You got to be able to ascertain that. Where did you get that from, man? Oh, I be studying on myself, study to show yourself approved. No, I can't listen to you then, cuz. You know what I'm talking about? What that guy bother you, nigga, come pop on me tell you, oh, I study to show myself approved. I'm good, man. I don't want to listen to you. No, I'm just saying, you ain't got no, somebody just came up and you heard them talking about the word, and they went to talking to you, like, yeah, bro, where you got that from? Oh, I study to show myself approved. I know to study myself away from you. You know what I'm talking about? Because I know you, come on, man. Like I said, I thank the Lord. No, I ain't had no teacher. I ain't sit up under no teacher. But I can show forth who taught me though. It's manifested every time we go through this book. You can see where it get this from. I ain't learned this from no man. We sitting here going through it though. It all makes sense. It line up with the book, don't it? You're coming from the Lord. You got to be able to prove your apostleship if you claim that. I just don't run around telling people that. I just let it manifest and speak for itself. But look here, man. If he wanted me to learn from a man, you think I wouldn't have? Ain't no shame in that. Everybody tell me I ain't joining no camp. I ain't being part of no congregation because you's a fool. You know what I'm talking about? You's a straight up fool. Ain't nothing shameful, ain't nothing wrong to sitting down and being taught by no man. Don't let nobody tell y'all something wrong with that. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody tell you, oh, you got to study to show yourself approved. Yeah. What you say? How you learn anything if you ain't learning from a man? Somebody had to teach it to you. You ain't learn how to use the pot by yourself. Somebody taught you how to use the pot. Somebody taught you how to tie your shoes. Somebody taught you how to change your clothes. At your job that y'all work out, somebody taught you and trained you how to do your job. But you think when it comes down to saving your soul, somebody ain't got to teach you and train you how to do it. You just read Joshua himself say his father taught him. He said, my father taught me. But now he thinking, oh, ain't no man got to teach me nothing. I don't follow no man. Don't be no fool. You ain't following that man. That man say follow. Paul say follow me as I follow the Lord. You follow the man of God. You follow the Lord. He ain't doing nothing. I'm going to tell you what the Lord say. Don't let these people make no fool out of you now. That man ain't talking to everybody in this verse here in 2 Timothy. He's talking to preachers. Now where was that? Go back to number 18. Back to Numbers 18. That was a long 16 minutes. Where we was at? Numbers 18, about verse 21. He said, behold, I have given the children of Levi a tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. But the Levites shall do service of the tabernacle of the congregation. They shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a statute forever throughout their generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance. For the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer as a heave offering unto Yah, I have given to the Levites to inherit. Therefore I said unto them, among the children of Israel, they shall have no inheritance. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, thus speak unto the Levites, and say unto them, when you take of the children of Israel the tithes which I have given you from them for your inheritance, then you shall offer up a heave offering of it for Yah, even a tenth part of the tithe. And this your heave offering shall be reckoned unto you, as though it was the corn of the threshing floor, and as the fullness of the winepress. Thus you also shall offer a heave offering unto Yah of all your tithes which you received of the children of Israel, and you shall give thereof Yah's heave offering to Aaron the prince. Out of all your gifts you shall offer every heave offering of Yah, all the best thereof, even the hollow part thereof out of it. But now you can see the there, we just kept on going. But you see how he said they have no inheritance, right? Priests ain't got no inheritance, right? That's established, right? Now I want y'all to go look at, let's go look at Malachi 2. Malachi 2 by verse 6. We're getting close to rounding this on out. We were going to deal with women not preaching, but we'll deal with it another time. We ain't got no time to fit this in. Yeah. We ain't got time to fit that in right now. We'll deal with that later. Well, we can fit it in. We just might not go into deep detail with it. Malachi 2 and 6. He said, the law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity, well, matter of fact, look at verse 5, or verse 4. He said, you shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, say of Yahweh. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear with which he feared me, and was afraid before my name. We know Yahshua was heard that he feared, and Yahshua was a priest, because he was joined to his father. Because he told you that. We read that already. He said him and his father are one, didn't he? If him and his father are one, that means they joined, right? Man, they told you he was a priest right there. Because he told you that earlier in that same chapter, because he told you he was the good shepherd. Listen what else he said. He said the law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity. Ain't that what the Lord did? Wasn't the law of truth in his mouth? Huh? There wasn't no sin in his mouth, and he said he walked with the Lord in peace, and he turned people from sin. But look what else he say here in verse 7. He said, well, the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of Yahweh hosts. If you're a messenger, that means you sent, right? So don't that mean, so that didn't he say anybody he's seeing, they receive him? So if you sent by him, don't that make you a priest too? Because don't the people got to seek the law from your mouth? Can anybody read anywhere where a woman is called a Levite? Can anyone read where any woman was sent with the law of truth in her mouth? Can we read that anywhere? I mean, let's just be real now. Can we read that anywhere? Because we can read what Genesis 29 and 34 say, that Levi means to join. We can't read nowhere where a woman was sent with the word of law, the law of truth in her mouth. You can't read that. Can't read that nowhere. Let's look at 2 Chronicles 15. You're all right, little Mark. We're going back now. 2 Chronicles 15, about verse 3. Matter of fact, make it verse 2. I want y'all to hear verse 2. Let that sink in your brain. Let that resonate in your temples. 2 Chronicles 15 and 2. Let this resonate in your brain. And he says, and he went out to meet Asa and said unto him, hear ye me, Asa and all Judah and Benjamin. Yah is with you while ye be with him. If you seek him, he will be found of you. If you forsake him, he will forsake you. Please know if you continue to seek Yah's righteousness in his way, God will be with you. But please know if you abandon God's word, God will abandon you. Don't let nobody lie to you and tell you God will never leave you and forsake you, because that's a lie from hell. You leave God, he will leave you. This is what he say here in verse 3 though. He say, now for a long season, Israel has been without the true God and without a teaching priest and without law. But when they in their trouble did turn unto Yah, God of Israel, and sought him, he was found of them. Then YESHUA say he came to seek them out the law. He said they was without a teaching priest. Then YESHUA come to give a teaching priest to turn it back to God so they could be found of him. He said a long season Israel been without a teaching priest. Now this is in Chronicles. You think they ain't had no teaching priests in them times? You think there wasn't no man came to teach the people the word at some point in the time? So we know that just wasn't talking about no regular priest was. Let's look at 2 Chronicles 17 and 7. I'll show you another instance where a woman wasn't preaching no word. I had to show this to Marie one time. When I showed, 7, just 2 chapters over. I had to show this to Riri one time. It shut her whole mouth when a woman told her she had an evangelist spirit. I asked her what an evangelist was. Silly nigga didn't know. Anybody know what an evangelist is? You better have no. Y'all read it. That's why I say you better have no. Any of y'all know what evangelist is? That's a traveling preacher. That's a traveling preacher. Ain't no woman walk around here no traveling preacher. 2 Chronicles 17 and 7. Huh? That's an evangelist. An evangelist is a traveling preacher. Paul could be considered an evangelist. He was a traveling preacher. He went from spot to spot preaching the word. It even said that Philip was an evangelist in, I think, Acts 21. It said also in the 3rd year of his reign, he sent his princes, even Ben-Hail, and to Obadiah, and to Zechariah, and Nethanel, and to Micaiah, to teach in the cities of Judah. And with them he sent Levites. So you see he sent priests, even Shammai, and Nethaniah, and Zebediah, and Ashel, and Sheremiah, and Jonathan, and Adoniah, and Tobiah, and Adoniah, and Levites with them, Elishama and Jeroham, priests. And they taught in Judah, and had the book of the law of Yah with them, and went about throughout all the cities of Judah, and taught the people. Now does this sound familiar to anybody about this man sending out priests to teach all the people in the cities of Judah? This sound familiar to y'all? Now what does it sound like to you, Drew? Yeah, but it's something specific, y'all. I'm going to show you something. Let's go to Matthew 10. I thank the Lord. He just put this in my mind just then. So you better know it. You hit the nail right on the head. When he sent the disciples out to go out and teach the people. What did he say that sound right? Matthew 10. verse 1. This is what he say, y'all. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease. Now the name of the 12 apostles are these: the first Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Levius, whose surname was Thaddeus. Now you see how he said his surname was Thaddeus? Remember how we were just looking at how he said a man would surname himself after the name of Israel? When I was talking about the Lord, you see now full well that couldn't be talking about none of us. Why would this man's surname wouldn't be Israel then, instead of Thaddeus? Like, you know what I'm saying? We dealt with this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about how they say that a man would name himself after the name of Israel. When I was talking about YESHUA, that wasn't talking about us. That wasn't talking about us. You just seen it, man. It just clicked in my mind as I seen that, because it said his surname was Thaddeus. You know what I'm talking about? Why wouldn't his surname be Israel, y'all? If his man would name, don't you think the disciples would name themselves after Israel before we did? I'm just saying, it just clicked in my mind when I just seen that. The surname is what brought it to mind. Verse 4. Simon the Canaanite and Judas the Iscariot, who also betrayed him. These 12 YESHUA sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and in the inner city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, saying, The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. So ain't he just sent them out to go preach? Because when you look in that 2 Chronicles 17, that was the king that sent them men out to go preach. The king just sent these men out to go preach. And another spot he said he sent them out 2 by 2. Sent them out to go teach the people. Listen what else he said. He said, Provide neither gold, nor silver, nor brass in your purses. He said, Nor scrip for your journey, neither 2 coats, neither shoes, nor yet stays, for the workman is worthy of his meat. Why is this man telling them not to take nothing with him? Because they priests. They don't have no inheritance. They priests. He just told you the workman was worthy of his meat. Ain't that the same thing you just read in the law about the Levites, that they were worthy of the gift that they received? He just told them, don't take nothing with you. See, look at Luke 5, where I'll show you where he say 2 by 2. I usually go to Luke 5 with it because I like how it's worded better. Because he called it something different. He don't say workman in Luke 5. Was it Luke 5? What is it? No, it's in Luke 6. No, it ain't Luke 7. What's he for? It's Luke 9. You see in Luke 9, as you see where he called his 12 disciples together and gave them power. Verse 3, and that's when he say, Take nothing for your journey. But it's another way he say the labor is worthy of his hire. It's probably in Mark. But you get the gist of that though. Do y'all know what the Lord told the people when he said, Lord, I'll go with you where you dwell at? What the Lord told them? He said the foxes of the holes have what? The foxes have what? And the bird. But the Son of Man don't have what? So that means he had no inheritance then, did he? Which would make him what? Same thing with his disciples then. So that means that's why he told them don't take nothing with them. Because the priest don't got no inheritance. He said God is your inheritance. Your job fully is to preach the word. That's what the tithing was for. That's what it's for. Yeah, I thought she hit the floor too. I heard a little bump.
Yeah, I heard that crying.
Yeah, but there wasn't no crying immediately after that. But see, you got people that say tithing wasn't changed. And we ain't trying to justify no wicked people who be out here fleecing people for their money. But I'm going to show you something. Just like I said, we're going to look at it. Because Genesis is the law, right? Genesis is the law, right? Look at Genesis 13 now. Then we'll go to Leviticus 27. Because that's the purpose of tithing to this man priest. He never changed nor changed any of that. He never changed that. If a man ain't doing nothing but preaching the word, how the man going to sustain himself? That's why Paul say, if we sow unto you spiritual things, he says it's a small thing we reap unto you carnal thing. But we just got to show you the Lord was a priest too. Don't you know the Lord had people that had him somewhere to dwell at? The Lord say, come show you where I dwell at. Don't you read about how Paul and Peter and these people had people say, man, come stay at our house. And they went and stayed with 13:1. Genesis 13:1. Listen what it says. Give me a second. Trying to catch another ball. There we go. And Abram went up out of Egypt, and he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him. And Abraham was very rich in cattle, and silver, and in gold. Now you say, okay, Abraham was rich in cattle, silver, and gold. So let's look at Genesis 14. Just the verse we're looking for. About verse 18. Now hold on. There we go to Paul. Genesis 14 and 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. So what does it say? Melchizedek, he's a priest, right? So that means that's what he's going to do with the priest. Because the priest means his inheritance is to God. And he blessed him, and he said, blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which delivered thy enemies into thy hand, and he gave them tithes of all. So if Abraham gave them tithes of everything he got, doesn't that include that silver and that gold too? It said everything, didn't it? Not just the cattle, everything. You just seen everything that he had. But look at Leviticus 27. This ain't just to be like this here, because you got to remember, a man can't preach for no money. See, we'll show you why he can't do this here, because this is what happened. We'll show you that in Micah in a second. But that was the purpose of tithes. Dudes sitting there like this here, oh, ain't no Levites out here. But we're going to show it to you. We're going to tie it in all together. Show you how this man made you a Levite. If he sent you to preach. Leviticus 27. Leviticus 27. We done read this before. Some of y'all done heard it. Some of y'all haven't. Let me get the verse I want. We ain't going to be here long. Not in this chapter here. God, thank the Lord. Leviticus 27. Dot verse. Look at verse 2. He says, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when a man shall make a singular vow, the person shall be for Yah by thy estimation. Thy estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old, even to 60 years old. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels. And if it be from 5 years old unto 25 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. And if it be from a month old even to 5 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels and of silver, and for the female thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And it goes on down this here that there's certain things that had to be paid for the people. You know what I'm talking about? And you got to understand that that's being paid. You got to understand who getting it. You think it just sat there? Some of it sat in the treasury, but some of these things went to the priest. Look what he said here in verse 10 though. Verse 9 actually. He said, if it be a beast, whereof men bring an offering unto Yah, all that any man gives such unto Yah shall be set apart. He shall not alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. If he had all changed the beast for beast, then he shall exchange, then it in the exchange therefore shall be set apart. And if it be an unclean beast, of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto Yah, he shall present the beast before the priest. And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad, rotten or. And you know what the worst part is? When the call drops, that's when the balls come in.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is so low because that all of them being on the line.
It do it when ain't nobody on the line.
I'm saying, like,
I know what you're saying.
you got to try that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See, we got to go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's going to be.
I mean, say, I can't handle it. Turn it up, nigga. You supposed to be ran by T-Mobile now.
Oh, Metro?
Yeah. Doesn't at all. Lord willing, we almost done. Forward it in. Just hold on, Drew. Just hold on. I know it's long. It's almost over. Alright. Yeah, you would think that. You know, a lot of people can't, they don't have Google Chrome. That's why they can't never see the screens.
Google Chrome?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you gotta have good chrome. Yeah, you're right. And just like a lot of people who try to look at it on their phone, they don't realize they gotta download the app.
Well, you should have.
Yeah, you have to download. You can't watch. You just can't straight watch it.
That's 100%.
Yeah, hold on, one more caller. That's why we gotta remember to make the YouTube channel shift it. All right, I just shared the whole YouTube thing now. But you see this, if you look back here in Leviticus 27, where it talk about unclean beasts, because you know obviously you can't offer no unclean beasts on the altar of Yah. But he says that in verse 12, the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad, as thou value it. Who art the priest, so shall it be. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add the fifth part thereof unto thy estimation. And when a man shall sanctify his house to be set apart unto Yah, then the priest shall estimate it, whether it be good or bad. The priest shall estimate it, so shall it stand. And if he sanctified it, it will redeem his house. Then he shall add a fifth part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be his. So now you sitting here talking about this, and it goes in through there in most spots. That if you bring certain things to Yah and you want to keep it, then you got to bring forth money to be able to keep what you went to offer. See, look at verse 28. He say, notwithstanding, no devoted thing that a man shall devote unto Yah of all that he hath, both man of beast and a field of his possession. Or the field of his possession shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most set apart unto Yah. None devoted which shall be devoted of men shall be redeemed, but it shall surely be put to death. And all the tithe of the herd, whether the seed of the land or the fruit of the tree, it is of Yah's, it is set apart unto Yah. You see how that's going back, talking about the seed of the land and the fruit of the tree. Because the fruit of the tree, the vine is Yahshua. That's the fruit of the vine right there, ain't it? And that seed is of the land. That's all time back what we were dealing with. Because you know what the Lord said? He that gathered with me is with me, but he that scattered is not with me. Anybody who bringing the word gathering with him, because you're trying to gather what? The wheat into the barn. You're trying to bring the seed in the barn. You're trying to bring forth the harvest time. You're planting the seed, trying to bring forth the harvest time. To bring forth what's written in Genesis 8:22. That's why he told you in what? He said, pray the Lord of the harvest that he do what? He said, pray the Lord of the harvest that you send laborers into your harvest. He said, for the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. It's many seeds that have been planted, but it's few people out here to till the ground. You see how that makes sense? There's a lot of people. If that man say the laborers are few, that lets you know the people who he done sent to preach the word, they small in number. You got a whole bunch of people out here preaching the word, but that lets you know he say the laborers are few. That means the true servants of Yahshua are small. That means there's not that many true priests out here who he sent. You see how that makes sense now? There's a lot of people out here preaching the word, ain't it? There's a lot of people out here preaching the word. But guess what though? He said it's only few, and he said the laborers are few. He said the laborers are few. That's what the Lord said. He said, but look at verse 31 though. He said, if a man will redeem all of his tithes, he shall add thereto the fifth part thereof. So if you trying to redeem your fruit, the fruit of your land, or the seed or whatever, or the crops that you brought in, or the animals you brought in, you could redeem that, which means you could pay money to take that beast or that fruit or that crop's place so you could keep it. So if the animals or the food, how these dudes always want to pop out, went to the Levites and you redeemed it with money, who y'all think get the money? Exactly. Who else gonna get it? If the animal or the fruit of the land was for the beef for the Levites and you redeemed it with your money, so say you came to offer y'all ox, but you wanted to keep your ox. Then you had to offer, it had to be estimated. Then you add a fifth part of the estimation, meaning 1/5. If he estimated to be $50, you add a fifth with it, that's another $10. Who do you think kept that money? If the ox was to be for the priest and you redeemed the priest and leave the money, what you think the priest was gonna get? They gonna get the money. You just read how he just gave the tithe money to Abraham, gave him money and beasts. But I'm just telling y'all this so y'all know this. Because you know have you ever heard people saying tithing ain't nothing but food and vegetables? I know if anybody done dealt with Hebrew Israelites, you done heard it. But we just showing you, well, you got to be able to be skillful in the law to know these things and know the difference and know why they get it. Because now you're seeing why the Lord told his disciples don't take nothing with you because they were priests. Now we got to bring that on home and make that crystal clear. I think it's something. Look at Deuteronomy 14. I want you to hear something Deuteronomy 14 real fast. It just came in my mind. Deuteronomy 14 and about verse 29, verse 27. This is what he telling. This is what he say now. Deuteronomy 14 and 27. He say, and the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he have no part nor inheritance with thee. He say, at the end of 3 years thou shalt bring forth all the time of thy increase the same year, and thou shalt lay it up within thy gates. And the Levite, because he have no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fathers, and the widow, which within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that Yah thy God might bless thee in all that work of thy hand, which thou doest. You see how he kept reiterating the fact that a priest ain't got no inheritance with you? You see how he reiterated that twice? He had to let it be known. Don't abandon them, don't forget them, because they don't have an inheritance with you. They don't have the opportunity to gather and get the things that you get. Let's go to Isaiah 61, and let's see if this man came to make you priests. Let's show you how YESHUA came to make men priests. So I just don't want y'all to think I'm just talking. I'm going to let the Lord. I'm just showing you that there because, see, the reason why men turned against people tithing and teaching that tithing is acceptable is not necessarily because it's wrong. It's because of niggas like Creflo Dollar and Kenneth Copeland and Billy Graham and T.D. Jakes, which could be understandable. You know what I'm talking about? Because these people are robbing people for their money. Matter of fact, hold to Isaiah 61. We're going to read verse 6. Look at Micah 3 and 9. See, this is what they're doing. Actually, Micah 3 and 11. Matter of fact, 3 and 10. See, this is what these people, matter of fact, verse 9. Micah 3 and 9 is good. This is what these people out here doing. This is why people turned against it. Because this is what these false prophets doing. Listen to what he tell you. Micah 3 and 9. He say, hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. See, these false prophets out here, they hate the righteous judgment of God. They hate it. And they hurt what's equal. Listen to what he tells them. He say they build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. Because how they building up Zion with blood? Because they got people committing sin. They the same people that saying let his blood be on us and our children's children. Saying the same thing. You see what I'm talking about? That's serious right there. They got sin on them. He told that in Isaiah 3. He said the people which lead thee cause thee to err. You got to sit there and look at that. The people, whether they call themselves Hebrew Israelites or whether they call themselves Sunday Christians, they causing the people to err with the things that they teach. But listen to the reason why they causing them to err. Look what he said. He said the heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire. He said, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon Yah and say, is not Yah among us, and evil can come upon us? See, that's the problem. That's why he told you, that's why Paul let you know, the Lord didn't preach for no money. He didn't preach for no gifts. That's why Paul told you a bishop can't be greedy for filthy lucre. You can't be no bishop. You can't be a pastor of the Lord. You can't be a priest of the Most High God, preaching for money. Because look what he just said. He said they judge for reward, they teach for hire, and they divine for money. So these people who sit out here, these Hebrew Israelites and these Sunday Christians, they'll tell you whatever you want to hear, as long as you give them some money. See, I done told a couple of y'all a couple of times, and if you ain't never heard it, boy, you tired of me and you ain't living right, you keep your money. I don't want it. You know what I'm talking about? If you're not living according to this man's word, you're not hearkening to the teaching, what I want your money for? What I'm do with it? That's blood money, as far as I'm concerned. You can keep it. I don't want no parts of it. I don't want you cursing my house with your dirty money. If you're not going to do what you're being taught, you keep it. I don't want it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, from the depths of my soul. I honestly mean that. Don't even offer it. Don't even try to send it. Don't even ask if you ain't living right. I ain't going to do nothing with it. And if you send it and you know you ain't living right, we're going to put it to the side. We ain't going to use it. I'm talking about we wouldn't even use it to feed a homeless person. We don't use your blood because we don't want you to think you can pay your way out of going to hell. See, that's what people be doing in these churches. They think they can pay their way out of going to hell. They think if I tithe this right here, that'll make me straight with the Lord. No, you still going to hell. You ain't living right. Ain't no tithe money going to get you out of hell. I just want y'all to keep that in mind. Let that in your brain. That ain't going to get you out of hell. Go back to Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61, verse 6. Listen to what this man tells you now. He said, but you shall be named the priests of Yahweh. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. You shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and the glory shall you boast yourself. So this man just said you should be called the Levites of Yah. Didn't we read in Isaiah 66? Hold on, let's jump on and see what it says. Didn't he say he'll take people for priests and for Levites? Ain't that what he said? And make them a clean vessel. Ain't that what we read earlier tonight? See, look at Malachi 3. And then we'll go to Revelation 5 and 9. Look at Malachi 3. Because he said he's going to make you priests. He said he's going to take them for Levi. This man said you're going to be called the priests of Yah and the ministers of your God. Ministers minister the word. Well, look what he said here in Malachi 3, about verse 2. Listen what he just told you. You say, but who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appear? For he's like a refiner's fire and full of soap. He shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yah an offering in righteousness. Remember how we just read about that, how a man got to purge himself of iniquity to be a vessel meet unto the master's use? Y'all remember how we read that last week? You remember that, Lamar? You remember that what? When we read that in Proverbs, he said you got to get the dross off the silver, and how Paul told you got to purge yourself. You say you got vessels in the house. Some of wood and gold, some of honor and dishonor, and those that are purged and meat and ready for the master's use, he can use. You think the Lord can use himself? He's sitting here telling you he's going to purge and make clean the sons of Levi. Sons of Levi are sons of the priest, right? If you join the Yah, that make you what? A son of God, don't it? Which means you're born of God, which means you don't commit no sin, which means your offering can be right before God, which means you can teach and feed the people properly. You see how all this stuff tied together? Now look at Revelation 5 and 9. Let's see how you refine it and purify it. Because we done already seen how YESHUA showed he was a priest. He told you he ain't had no inheritance. Sent his disciples out and told them don't take nothing with him because you ain't got no inheritance neither. Say the labor is worthy of his hire. Say you worthy to be paid for your work. Verse 9, Revelation 5th chapter. And he said they sung a new song, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred, tongue, people, and nation. So that blood is what cleanses you. That's what purifies you, right? But listen what else he said. And has made us unto our gods kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So YESHUA able to make you a priest. But guess what? Anybody know what that's at in the law? Anybody know what that's at in the law? Go to Exodus 19:5. See how you got to take it to the law and the testimony now. You see how this book tie all together. Whole book tied together now. Look at what he said. Exodus 19:5. Exodus 19:5. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a set apart nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. See how that tie right back in together? Tie right back in together, though. So you see, like I said, this man came to make you a priest and make you join the Yah. This is where the tie come in at. So that lets you know this ain't eliminated in the New Testament. It's still going. If people got understanding to know that the names of the sons of Jacob, YESHUA came to fulfill and bring to pass. Ain't none of it cease. That's why when you read Paul talk about letting them be a double honor. I want to deal something with prophets. I think we'll deal with it in a short patch if y'all got the time for it, for this matter here. But let's look at Matthew 13 and 52, and we'll call it a day on this matter right here. Matthew 13:52. Matthew 13:52. Matter of fact, hold on. Matthew 13:51. Listen what he said. He said, YESHUA saith unto them, have you understood all these things? Y'all understood all these things? Huh? And they say unto him, yea, Lord. Then he said unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven, that means every Old Testament teacher which is instructed in the plan of salvation, is like unto a man that is a householder, which bring forth out of his treasure things new and old. He basically telling you if they can't come from the Old Testament to the New Testament, what they talking about, they not a teacher in the in the kingdom of heaven. I bless be the Father in the name of Yeshua for his word. Y'all understood all that? If anybody got any questions, y'all let them roll.